I want to come to you, Guru Prakash, first, because you might have heard Karti Chidambaram saying the BJP is no one to tell us what is Hinduism. This was a critique of Brahminical Hinduism as he believes it is understood in Tamil Nadu, the need for a casteless society. How do you respond to what you just heard, the defense of what the DMK leader said as a critique of Hinduism, rather than calling for the eradication or calling for any kind of genocide, he says?
Rajdeep ji, we must understand a couple of things first. Being anti-caste, does it automatically translate into being anti-Hindu? Absolutely not. If we look at the examples from our culture, from our civilization, Kabir, he was anti-caste, but he was not anti-Hindu. Ravidas, for that matter. Sant Ravidas was anti-caste, but he was not anti-Hindu. So to interpret it in such a manner that being anti-caste necessarily makes you an anti-Hindu, this is absolutely a preposterous argument. Number two, since morning, we have been hearing different sort of arguments. The definition of Sanatan in North is different. The definition and the imagination of Sanatan in the South is different. If that is the case, then why Shankaracharya, who was born in Kerala, he is building 4 mathas across the country, in the North, in the South, in the East, in the West? Go beyond that. We, in our everyday mantra, Jambu Dvipe Bharat Khande, this has happened much before that. We must understand that the Indie Alliance leadership, and this is not the first time, they met in Mumbai only a couple of days ago. There was no consensus in terms of Neta, but there was a consensus in terms of Niti. Their Niti is to insult the sentiments of more than 80-85 crore Hindus of the country. And I was also listening to Mr. Karti Chidambaram, who alleged that BJP is a Brahminical party. Let me quote you from a study that was published in the Hindustan Times data. It's an excellent study done by an excellent researcher, Nishant Ranjan, who has argued that since independence, the Congress party, the so-called messiah of social justice, the so-called paragon of social justice, has made only 15% of its 250 chief ministers from the OBC community. On the other hand, it has been BJP who has been more accommodative when it comes to OBC representation. So everything, you are attacking Sanatan in the name of social justice. It's unacceptable.
You are attacking Sanatan in the name, Guru Prakash. No, Guru Prakash. Country's history. No. According to Udhayanidhi and Karti Chidambaram, we are critiquing Hinduism from a Dravidian perspective. That we represent, according to Udhayanidhi Stalin, what he has said is no different to what a Periyar said, to what an Ambedkar said. The fact, according to Udhayanidhi Stalin, is he's just taking forward that argument to build a casteless society to annihilate caste, and Ambedkar moved out of Hinduism to become a Buddhist because he said, I will not accept Brahminical Hinduism.
Rajdeep ji, with all due respect, and I find it really laughable that you are comparing Udhayanidhi Stalin to Baba Sahib Ambedkar. I think you, of all the people, would know that Udhayanidhi Stalin is a product of dynasty. I'm not comparing him.
He's not a comparison. He is quoting from Periyar and Ambedkar.
Rajdeep ji, so you are quoting, you are in a sense trying to justify, not you, but there are people in politics today who in a sense are trying to justify Udhayanidhi's statement in the context of Baba Sahib Ambedkar. Udhayanidhi Stalin is a product of dynasty. Udhayanidhi Stalin is a product of privilege. For God's sake, Baba Sahib Ambedkar, who was single-handedly responsible for lifting millions of underprivileged people. And it was today. And Mr. Karti Chidambaram, speaking of BJP being a Brahminical party, Rajdeep ji, you very well know, Ambedkar died in 1956. It took us more than 40 years after his death to give that man a Bharat Ratna. A non-Congress government in the center gives Baba Sahib Ambedkar a Bharat Ratna. Today there are 5 places linked to Baba Sahib Ambedkar which has been elevated to the status of Tirth. So there is absolutely no comparison. But there is a pattern, Rajdeep ji, which we need to understand. The statements made by Mr. Udhayanidhi Stalin, it's not an isolated statement. There is a pattern, there is a design. Only a few days ago, we saw a Swami Prasad Maurya, a Samajwadi party leader, saying, spreading venom about Hinduism. Mr. Satish, a Pradesh Congress Committee president of Karnataka, he said Hindu बड़ा ही बुरा शब्द होता है. Gopal Italia, आम आदमी पार्टी, मंदिर में जाने की आवश्यकता नहीं है. Do not take me what Mr. Rahul Gandhi has said. जो लोग मंदिर में जाते हैं वो क्या-क्या करते हैं. But we have to understand that there is a deep-seated hatred for Hindus in the so-called India Alliance. Rajdeep ji, I am live from Bihar today. In Bihar, the extreme of political appeasement is such that in parts of Purnia, parts of Khagaria, on the day of Friday, the schools are shut. On the other hand, on the contrary, Lok Astha ka Mahaparv Chhat Puja, the government is curtailing the holidays in the name of Chhat. So the end of extremism, this is a product of politics of appeasement. Okay. This is a product of denigrating the values, the ideals and the institutions of Sanatan Dharma. I ask you, Rajdeep ji, today, if you have real sense, what is the social justice that you have done? Have you given a representation? For the first time, we saw a woman from the tribal community reaching the highest constitutional office in the country, and these are the same people who, in the name of social justice, oppose that. Is that your idea of social justice? Is that your idea of Sanatan Dharma?
Okay, let Kancha, you've given me a very strong rebuttal. I think Kancha Ilaya, who's written again trenchant critiques of Hinduism, needs to respond. Kancha, how do you respond to what you heard from Guru Prasad Paswan? He says, look, the BJP stands for social justice. The Sanatan Dharma that Guru Prasad Paswan talks about, he believes stands for inclusivity and social justice.
Well, Rajdeep, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can.
Hello?
Yes, I can. Please go ahead.
Yeah. There are two opinions here. What Udhayanidhi or Chidambaram are saying is that the concept Sanatan is not a pure religious concept, but it actually deeply links up to caste, untouchability and inequalities, including women. Which of course Periyar's writings, you can see usage of this. If you see Ambedkar's writings, the idea of Sanatan is deeply linked up to Varna Dharma. Sanatan Dharma and Varna Dharma are deeply linked up, therefore caste, untouchability and the kind of women's inequality that came in, where the Hindu religion, what they are today calling, could not emerge as spiritual democracy, is caste and untouchability, women's inequality question. Now, I heard the BJP representative, I also heard BJP spokesperson today in the press conference, that they are saying Sanatan is an eternal law which will not change. Now, if that is the case, are they saying that Sanatan is an eternal law and caste and untouchability, inequality are not part of it, but they are part of this society before Muslims came, before British came, and after they left, even during Congress period and during BJP period. But BJP today has a bigger political moral responsibility because it is claiming that it is a Hindu party. Okay, whether one is a Dalit, one is an OBC, one is a upper caste, whatever it is, if they want India to be a Hindu religious-based country and political system too, can they tomorrow declare what is their agenda of abolition of caste? They are saying eradication of Varna Dharma, Sanatan Dharma is eradication of caste. Okay, you don't agree with it. But so far, in 15 years of BJP rule, no Dalit, Adivasi, Shudra in this country could hear what is their agenda of abolition of caste, abolition of
They have
untouchability,
made an
abolition of
Adivasi, no,
women's
Kancha Ilaya,
inequality.
they will claim they have made an Adivasi the president of India. They will claim that they are pushing for greater Dalit political representation. So they are saying you are looking at the BJP from a narrow prism. They claim, this is the claim they make, that therefore they are actually looking at eradication of caste in their own way.
No, Rajdeep, if you listen the debates between Rajgopalachari and Periyar, Rajgopalachari, though was not a supporter of Ambedkar, was claiming that they were supporting Jagjeevan Ram. See, this one individual, that one individual, in this position, on that position, is not abolition of caste stand. As an intellectual, as a writer, as a columnist, tell me, making one individual, whether it is Congress, K.R. Narayanan, or BJP Kovind, or today, Draupadi Murmu, or whatever, is it a stand on abolition of caste inequality and women's inequality and making
So
Hindu
are you saying fundamentally, Kancha Ilaya, you
BJP
believe...
people
are you saying...
are they
sir.
for Shudra, Dalit, Adivasi equal priests?
Are you saying, therefore, you believe
Equal
fundamentally
priests in Ram
Sanatan
Temple
Dharma is
tomorrow?
unequal?
Can they declare?
Sir, are you saying that Sanatan Dharma is fundamentally unequal?
No, that is what the histories... No, I don't have to say that. You look at the history of India writing from Rigveda to present.
Okay. Can I
When
get
did
Guru...
the caste emerge? The idea of Shudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya and Brahman, and till
Rajdeep ji.
today, who are defending in written all these ideas.
Can I
of
for a moment,
inequality.
just a minute, Kancha,
Not
can
here.
let me
Even
get
in
Guru
America.
Prasad to respond. You've raised again valid point.
California caste opposition law is opposed by them. That's
Okay.
the problem.
Okay.